it's Russ from the Infectious Crew podcast and vinyl channel. Today I'm going to do another of my 5 underrated songs videos, this time focusing on the bad boys from Los Angeles, Motley Crue, coming right up. So I'm going to talk about 5 songs that I think are insanely underrated by Motley Crue. The first one up is actually one that was a single, and you do hear it at least here in Detroit on the radio from time to time, but it never gets the recognition that it deserves for being a really, really hard rock and great Motley Crue song, and that is Wild Side from Girls, Girls, Girls. If you hear anything about this record, really the only thing you ever hear is the title track, Girls, Girls, Girls. On the record was a cover of Jailhouse Rock, You're All I Need, a couple other songs that really don't get that much recognition, but overall fans seem to like this record more than the record before it, Theater of Pain. But for whatever reason, Wild Side doesn't really get a whole lot of recognition, doesn't get as much radio play as Girls, Girls, Girls. So when I do these underrated lists, I really don't like to include singles and things like that. I want to include songs that were maybe non-singles that I feel like more people should know. But with this one, I feel strongly that Wild Side, even though it was a single, doesn't get anywhere near the recognition it should. And so to me, that makes it an underrated cut for sure. Next up on the list is what I talked about, the album before, Theater of Pain. Now this album did yield some very big hits. Home Sweet Home to this day is a extremely large hit and a fan favorite among casual and diehard Motley Crue fans. Smoking in the Boys Room, their cover was also a big hit. Kind of divisive among the fans. Some fans love it, some fans don't. But really, that's the beginning and the end of this record. You hear nothing about the songs, the other songs on this album, and fans very much are split on this record's quality as far as it being a follow-up to Shout at the Devil. Completely different vibe than the record before, and for many, many fans, it seems like it went in a different direction than their debut record, and Shout at the Devil looked like they were going in. For me, the underrated track on this record is Louder Than Hell, which is a fantastic rock song from Motley Crue. Like I say, this could be at home, in my opinion, on Shout at the Devil or even Girls, Girls, Girls or Dr. Feelgood. It's just a super rockin' song that is really, I think, the biggest standout track on the record, aside from maybe Home Sweet Home. It's Motley Crue doing everything Motley Crue does right in one song, and if you really haven't given a listen to it, I can't stress enough, Louder Than Hell from Theater of Pain is absolutely one of my most underrated Motley Crue tracks. On the next album, to be quite honest, I could say every song on this album is an underrated song, in my opinion. And when I initially thought about making this video, I almost was going to say, okay, well, my most underrated Motley Crue songs are from Motley Crue's self-titled album, Motley Crue, which of course has John Corabi on vocals instead of Vince Neil. I feel strongly that this album is insanely underrated and has been for the entirety of the time that it's been released. However, I wanted to narrow it down to 2 tracks so I could round out this top 5. For me, I think Misunderstood is a track that, if Motley Crue fans have never really given this album a chance, or a casual Motley Crue fan hasn't given it a chance, I think Misunderstood tells you everything you need to know about the quality of this record. It starts out as a ballad, ends as a hard rockin' song. The quality of lyrics are absolutely fantastic. Covers a much more serious subject than Motley Crue usually had been covering up until that time, and it's handled very well. In the middle of the song, there's even almost a Beatles feel to a transition of parts in the song. It's just a showcase of everything that Motley Crue did right on this album that they still haven't really got any credit for. The other track that I would tell you, if you maybe hear Misunderstood and you say, okay, well, you know, I've heard Home Sweet Home, I don't really like the power ballad portion of Misunderstood. No problem. What you want to check out from this album then is an extremely underrated song called Power to the Music. It's the song that kicks off the album, and in my opinion, it's some of the best playing all of the members of Motley Crue do across their whole career, all in one spot. Certainly Tommy Lee, as far as his drumming, is on fire. In a sea of tracks where Motley Crue showcases Tommy Lee's incredible drumming, Power to the Music really shows it off right from the beginning of this album. And John Corabi pretty much kicks down the door and says, okay, this isn't going to be a Vince Neil situation. And it's just a wonderful track. So although I want to say every song on here is underrated, I'm going to narrow it down to 2 and tell you to check out Misunderstood and Power to the Music, and see if that don't get you to want to hear the rest of this incredibly underrated album. The last Motley Crue song that I'm going to put on my top 5 underrated Motley Crue tracks is one that was made for a hits package, and I have the 12-inch single for it here. The song Primal Scream, which was really the last song that was commercially released with Vince Neil prior to them switching to John Corabi on vocals for the next album. Dr. Feelgood has an even harder edge to it in parts than Girls, Girls, Girls does, and in about half of the record of Dr. Feelgood, though, is as slick or poppy production, even more poppy production than the Theater of Pain record had, and certainly wasn't really prevalent on the Girls, Girls, Girls album. This song, Primal Scream, takes that vibe that you heard on the harder parts of Dr. Feelgood, like the title track, Dr. Feelgood, and turns it up to 11. This is one of the hardest rockin' Motley Crue songs, in my opinion. The production is fantastic. The lyrics are great. Again, you really get to hear everybody, Vince Neil included, doing their best and doing what they do in Motley Crue their best. And this was the lead single off of the hits package Decade of Decadence, and was a mild hit at the time, but you never hear on the radio anymore. When anybody discusses Motley Crue, the song never seems to come up. That, for me, is easily in the top 5 Motley Crue underrated tracks of all time. So those are my Motley Crue 5 underrated tracks. What are yours? What are some of the other ones that I'm missing? Maybe you like some of the tracks on Theater of Pain that I didn't mention, or you find some of the stuff on Shout at the Devil, or Girls, 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 other tracks that I didn't mention to be underrated as well. If you liked the video and you had fun watching, please make sure to leave a like. But either way, I would really like to get the discussion going below. Leave me your thoughts on my picks for 5 most underrated Motley Crue songs, and definitely leave yours. Make sure to tune in every Thursday and Saturday for more vinyl videos. Thanks for watching.